Hey, Lexi Recap is here. Today I'll recap a 2023 movie, Name Last Summer. The film begins with Annie, a lawyer, interrogating her client who was abused. She asks her a few questions and tells her to keep calm in the court. She makes sure she answers all questions she is asked truthfully. The victim's mother is seen with the reporter answering a few questions she is asked. In the next scene, we can see Anne in the street jogging towards her gate. She also has two beautiful daughters. Her husband Pierre talked to her about his son. He says her mother Rebecca called to inform them that Theo, his son, is detained again for fighting his teacher. Pierre tells Annie that he won't be able to take the girls to the equestrian center and pleads with Annie to take them along with her as he needs to attend to the issues surrounding Theo. Later, Annie speaks to her friend Mina about Theo's situation and tells her that Theo, her stepson, is coming to stay with them. She says her husband Pierre wants to bond with his son and this is the perfect chance to do so. While they were having their conversation, a man brought a child named Lucas to Mina. It got her a little furious, but she still took Lucas in. Mina warned Lucas to behave as she still had two more customers to attend to. After Annie pleaded with Mina if she could take Lucas with her girls, but Mina turned it down. Instead, Mina had dinner with them. When she came to get Lucas after leaving Mina's shop, and went home. At home, everywhere was a mess and she tried to clean up. She met Theo drying his hair in the bathroom. She told him not to litter the house with his things as there was a lot of closet space in the room. Later that same day, Anne and her family were eating, and her daughters were asking different questions. Why Theo hadn't stayed with them before, why Anne was sitting eating her food, and why Pierre answered all the questions. Theo came in later. He told them he doesn't eat meat while one of the girls, Angela, told and she wanted to get Theo's present. She brought a piece of paper made by Serena, and inside was a key holder made by Angela. He was grateful for the gift Serena and Angela gave him. Annie is seen making a call as she comes down from her car. Theo is playing judo with Serena. Serena is teaching him the basics, and Angela watches. Anne met them playing, but Theo left the room as soon as she came in. Pierre came home late that night. He and spoke while he was eating. Pierre lamented about work, and he kept on drinking as he spoke to his wife. Seeing that her husband was drunk, Annie took him to the room so he could freshen up. In the room, he speaks about Theo. He reveals to Anne how Theo said to him earlier that he adopted the girl so as to ease his conscience of not being there for Theo. Annie also reveals to Pierre how Theo gets along with the girls. The couple later makes out. Back in Theo's room, Pierre came into the room to see him smoking and said he prefers he doesn't smoke in the house. Pierre tells Theo that they will do their best to make him comfortable and it won't be nice if he doesn't do the same too. Angrily, Theo asked Pierre to excuse him as he was busy, but Pierre disagreed. He reminded Theo that he had exams at the end of the year, but the only thing he saw his son doing was playing games. Pierre wasn't going to tolerate his son's behavior and seized Theo's phone, which made the latter angry. The furious Theo insulted his father, which made him leave unhappy. At Mina's store, and parked outside, and Mina went to join her in the car. They both drive off to Anne's house. As usual, she sees the house has been turned upside down, and everything has been scattered. She and Mina try to put everything in place and then sit down. Anne calls Pierre and says that their house has been broken into. She tells Pierre she doesn't know how, but she is going to contact the police. While talking to her husband, Theo comes in and is also surprised about the state of the living room. Anne told him someone had broken in and that he should check his room to see if he noticed any missing items. Mina lamented that Theo hadn't said hi to her at Anne's office. Later, she is talking to one of her clients, Sarah. She tells Sarah that the children's court has decided that Sarah may live with her father. This made her client happy, and got home later that day and found a key holder in Theo's pocket. While trying to do the laundry, she questioned him on how her key went to his pocket. Theo wanted to accuse her of going through his stuff, trying to maneuver the question of how the key got into his pocket, and asked Theo where he put all the stolen items, but Theo kept denying all the allegations. And promised not to tell Pierre if Theo cooperated in the house and to be on his best behavior. While Anne was trying to get the beach gear, Theo came in and helped. She asks him to come along to swim, and he agrees without hesitation. At the beach, they all enjoyed each other. Theo played with the girls so much that they enjoyed it, and also joined them, and they all left for home in a happy mood. On their way home, the girls ask Theo to join them in horse riding the next day, though he says he can't ride a horse but agrees. They both carried the girls into the house as they were both asleep. The next day, Anne and Theo were sitting talking while Theo was smoking. And asked when he started, and he responded that he loved it at the age of 12 with his mom. Annie tells him to invite whoever he wants to the house, but he tells her he doesn't have any friends. They talked for a long time, talking about different things, joking, and laughing together. The next day, Theo brings a girl named Amanda to the house and then takes her to his room. At a gathering, Anne and Pierre are having a conversation, but an uninterested Annie leaves the gathering and goes to sit on the stairs. At this moment, Theo on his way out came out of the garage with his tricycle. He sees his stepmom sitting all alone and told her he is going out to get cigarettes and asked if she would love to join him. Annie agreed without hesitation, and the duo drove out of the house happily. They stopped at a bar to have drinks while they talked. Annie asked her stepson about Amanda, if she was still his girlfriend, but Theo told her that he and Amanda had their life. Theo, in turn, asked his stepmom about her love for his father, Pierre, and if their love was genuine, but she turned it down immediately. In the middle of their conversation, Amanda called him, and he excused himself. Annie got back home. She felt Pierre worried about her. He asked where she was, and she told him she had to leave because she needed some fresh air and took a walk. Pierre was unhappy with and leaving as a guest, so he went to his roof furiously. The next day, Mina came over with Isaac to Annie's house. They were having a conversation while Theo played with the 3 kids. At night, Annie goes to Theo's room and sits on his bed to see what he is watching on his phone. The stepmom and stepson later make out in the room. Feeling guilty, Annie expresses her displeasure with the incident, saying it should never happen again. But Theo, on the other hand, reminisces on the incident. Despite saying such an incident shouldn't occur again, the duo couldn't resist each other's attraction to each other. Annie decided to visit Sarah after calling numerous times without getting an answer. But on getting to Sarah's house, Sarah asked her to leave immediately. With fear in her eyes, Annie got the message and left immediately but made a call to know more about Sarah. It is Serena's birthday party, while Annie is trying to decorate and put things in place. Theo has been flirty, but Annie tells him off. Lots of people come to the party. Mina also came to the party, but left immediately when she saw Theo and Annie kissing and flirting. The party ended after a lot of fun and enjoyment. The following day, Annie decided to speak to Theo about the incident that happened at the party. They met at the forest. She told him she was ready to put a stop to all they had been having together, though Theo didn't have it, saying and was mean to him. The duo then promised to keep their affair a secret, even to Pierre. Theo left angrily while and went to meet Pierre at the table where he was eating. Annie got scared the instant Pierre told her that Mina called him, but later she felt relieved when she realized that Mina didn't say anything about her affair with Theo to Pierre. Pierre tells his wife he would like to take Theo so they can be together for a while. Not having a choice, she agrees. She kept the girl company while they were both away. After the outing, Pierre's attitude becomes suspicious as it seems to Annie that Theo has told him about them. Upon getting to the room, Pierre confronts his wife about her affairs with her son, but she denies it and acts innocent. She tells Pierre that she cared about him and Theo. She told him the robbery that happened the last time was Theo's doing, and she didn't bother to tell him because she felt Theo would change. Pierre believed her and let it slide. The next day 3 sits together, and Annie confronts Theo and asks him to provide evidence to prove that the robbery was not his doing, but he leaves angrily to his room, knowing he can't provide one. On Christmas Day, Sarah came by Anne's house to give her a present. She thanked Anne for helping her out. Mina also came by with Isaac. She also told Anne she had forgiven her. Pierre gave her a bracelet as a present. The following morning at Theo's lawyer's office, Anne is sitting and talking to the lawyer for a moment and requesting for the agreement to be dropped on her table. The helpless Theo just sat mute. Later that night, Annie heard a sound outside her house. She woke up and went to check. She saw Theo and asked what he wanted. Theo claimed he was going to visit her, but he did not. Drunk, he made seductive advances to Anne, at first and resist but then she agrees. And they both made love again. After that Anne left the room and goes to her husband. In the room, she told Pierre that it was Theo, he was drunk and come here for a quick visit. And she already got a cab for him. With that scene the movie ends here.